Lexi Grenzer with Ice Resin Creative Team 2013. Today we're going to do some wire wrapping. And instead of doing just one little wire wrap, we're actually going to do a briolette wrap too. So that's 2 wire wraps. So let's wrap it up and get started. Okie dokie. So we've got a needle nose plier, and that's just really small at the front, round all the way around. Flat nose, round at the outside, flat on the inside, and wire cutters. Alright, and we're going to be making a little briolette wrapped bead. So that's when you've got a tear-shaped bead with holes through the side. And it's a little awkward at first to do, but once you get a hang of it, it's very pretty. And then we're going to do a very simple wire wrapped crystal, and this is basically just a little wire wrapped head pin that I put a crystal on. Alright, so we've got some 22 gauge wire here, and I'm basically just going to take and bend this so it's at an angle, okay? And then depending on how big you want your loop to be, that's how far in you position it. And I don't want it to be a terribly large loop, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it, hug the plier right up against the edge of that angle, and I'm just going to wrap this around. So from the back, you're just basically wrapping it over, and it creates that angle. And then what I do is I feed it back in here, and I cross over. So I feel like if it needs straightening or adjusting, that's when I go ahead and do it. And then I take my flat nose pliers, and I basically just grip onto the loop, and I sort of use my nails, and yes, I have some pretty hefty nails, so it's easy to do. If you don't have them, you can use some of your other tools. And then you just wrap that little tail around, and so you've got your little loop, and you don't want that tail to stick off, so what you're going to do is take your wire cutters right up against the edge as much as you can, cover up that little piece so you don't accidentally pop off and hit somebody with it. And so you can barely tell that there's even a sharp edge there, but if you feel it with your finger, it's definitely there. And you just take with your little flat nose, come in and just start crimping around to sort of flatten it out. It's still a little bit sharp, so we're going to keep doing just a little more tucking here. Excellent. And if I can give any advice, it's wear your piece at least once. So wear your earrings or wear your jewelry first to see if it snags on anything, and then you know it's going to be a comfortable fit. Okay, so after you've got that done, you can go ahead and slide your bead on. And then again, I just take the tip of my needle nose pliers right up against the edge of that bead, bend it to create my angle, feed back over, and I'm basically just taking and pushing that over. See if we can get a good angle here. And then I take it out and I reposition, and I just cross right over again. Pull it nice and tight, and if you just kind of take a look, you've got your little loop there. And then I hug it with my flat nose pliers, and I just wrap. And then just to kind of make it easier, I sort of bring it up a little bit at an angle so I can get in there as close as possible to snip off as much of that extra wire as possible. And I'm just going to go ahead and flatten down that piece. And sometimes it needs just a bit of adjusting, and sometimes you just need, because you want your pieces to look even, right? So just a little bit of adjusting, and then you've got a really simple wire wrapped bead. Okay, so we've got our 22 gauge wire and our little tear-shaped bead, and we're just going to take and put our wire through. And what I like to do is kind of pinch the bead a little bit and bring these up so that they cross over each other just a little bit. And you want them to be pretty symmetrical. You don't want them to get all crazy in shape. And then one of the things that I like to do is just kind of take my fingernail and just do a quick twist so it's kind of locked on there. And then I take my needle nose pliers just like that, and I push that bad boy over, And I'll just pull those out so you can see what it looks like. So you've got basically just that little start of a loop. And I'm going to go ahead and feed that back in and cross over. I'll pull out so you've got your little loop. And then you just take that little tail, and same as the regular wire wrapped loop, you just sort of wrap it around. And then you have your little Briolette wrap. So with those excess pieces of wire, just snip those off. And ooh, that one has a long tail, so we're going to go back in and cut that a little bit closer. Go back in and crimp down those sharp edges. I couldn't even see that one, it was so tiny. If you need to adjust or change your loop at all, you can. And then you have a simple little Briolette wrapped loop. Okay, so there you have it. We have a Briolette wrap and a basic wire wrap, and you're ready to get started and make some killer jewelry. If you need more tips and techniques, feel free to check out iceresin.com. Hopefully we'll see you back again soon. Bye! Today we're going to do a basic wire wrap loop, and I figured why not do a little Briolette wrap too. And we're going to be doing a wire... Cut it. Why do I want to keep saying ear wire? Instead of doing just a single wire wrap loop, we'll actually do a Briolette wrap. One little wire wrap, we'll also do a Briolette wrap. So that's 2 wire wraps. And, you know, it can't hurt to have extra.
You were so good.